Welcome everyone to Tech Broadcast. Today I have an unboxing of the world's actually fastest single GPU that's out to date, and it is the Nvidia GTX Titan. Yes, this is the first Nvidia card that actually doesn't have any numbers following it. It's just the GTX Titan, and it's actually based off the GK110 processor that is actually part of the supercomputer. You might have heard of that, but basically that's what it's off of. It's still based on the 28 nanometer technology, but it's actually has more transistors in it than any other GPU out there. And there's a few stats here. The CUDA cores is actually 2,688, which is a huge increase over what let's say that the 680 or the 670 or 660 has. The base clock is 837, which you might think, well, that's extremely low on the low end, but this card's completely different than what we've ever seen before. It does things it actually does things the way things should have been to begin with. But don't worry about the base clock. The boost clock's 876. Another thing not to worry about. I know those look like low numbers because they're not anywhere near like the gigahertz range that the 680 and 7970s are at, but just take that with a grain of salt. It has 6 gigabytes of memory, which is pretty outstanding, and as 384-bit, which is a 50% increase from the regular standard 680. So basically, if you're running more than one monitor or high resolution display, this is the card for you. And like I said, it's built off the GK110 chip. We've already heard that, and it's 7.1 billion transistors. That's getting back to how actually many transistors they were able to pack into that 28 nanometer. I mean, this is a little die that they're packing all that processing power into. And this is just going to be my unboxing. I'm going to do probably 5 or 6 videos following up to this. I want to do one with some of the new features that it has in it. I'm not going to go over all of them now. I'm just kind of giving an overview, a little highlight of it. And I'm going to do some acoustics on it. This GPU is supposed to be one of the quietest GPUs out there, and that's extremely exciting, especially considering it's one of the fastest, or it actually is the fastest single GPU. If we were just talking about one GPU, it's definitely the fastest out there. So I'm going to do some acoustics on it, see what kind of noise produces or doesn't produce. I'm hoping doesn't produce. And then I'm going to do some actual benchmarks and reviews on this. I definitely want to get that going. I will not be doing any SLI stats on it, mainly because these cards are very, very rare. They're hard to find, and getting 2 of them is needle in a haystack. And I'm going to go over some of ways to overclock this card, because it is a lot different from the older cards like the 680 or even how the 7970 on the AMD and Nvidia side, how they're actually overclocked. This one has a GPU Boost 2.0, which actually bases most of your overclocking on temperature and your fan curves and overall noise and kind of characteristics, how you want it to perform noise-wise. But mainly it's based on temperature. So we don't mess around with voltage or core clocks or none of that anymore. You're not overclocking that. You're mainly focusing on your fan speed and the temperature. What's the max temperature you'd like to reach, and how quiet do you actually want this GPU to run? That being said, that's just a general kind of an intro into the card. I'm going to do a separate video on some of the features of it. That's actually going to be a little bit after this. What I'm actually doing now is just unboxing a regular card, and we have its EVGA, and it is the GeForce GTX Titan. It's in a small box. I was extremely surprised on actually how small the box was, considering you know, my 7970 box was probably about 3 or 4 times this size. So it was packed very well. I will mention that. I'm not going to go over where I actually got it at retail wise, but it actually was packed very well, but it is a very, very small box. With that being said, let's jump in and actually see what you get inside. So get into the box. I am extremely excited to see what's actually in here, and what kind of accessories and just general overall what the card looks like. I have an idea. I've seen pictures of the card before. It looks very similar to the GTX 690, which is actually it's actually faster than this card. It will perform better in regular just benchmarking games, especially in a single monitor, but that is a dual GPU. I want to keep that in mind. And dual GPUs don't always scale how they should be. I've ran Crossfire before with 7970s, and I will say some games it actually did worse than actually a single GPU. They just don't you know, scale well depending on what the game is. Alright, let's get this out. This is pretty exciting, if you ask me. It's very, very exciting. And what do we got here? Probably some type of poster. Yep, I actually already have one of these. Oh, and what you actually get is a poster. Not anything special. Actually, that's the same one that came in the... I've had a 680 before, and that's the exact one that came in the 680, so nothing special there. What we actually have here, it looks like a graphics card user guide. Just got a general user guide. Basic stuff, how to set it up, how to plug it in, hooking all your power connectors up. That's just telling you the card's going to get hot. Hopefully not as hot. This card is supposed to run extremely cool compared to some of the other cards out there. And then you get a few stickers there. Again, these are the same things that come with the 680, or at least from what I've seen on EVGA's side. And then we just get a quick start guide, which is pretty nice, especially if you're new. If you're looking at a card like this, you're probably not very new into it. But it shows you that. You get a little EVGA badge here. Let's see if I can... Again, sorry for the glare. It's nighttime, so I got lights everywhere. And then you get your driver's disc here. I would definitely go to the website and download the newest driver's disc. Or this newest drivers, I shouldn't say disc, but go to the website, download the newest ones. And it looks like, what do we got here? Looks like regular PCI to actually dual PCI, and that's really neat. I'm actually going to go ahead and get this out just to show you, mainly because the sleeving on this is really nice. I was surprised to see this. What you have here is just looks like a single PCI going to a dual 6-pin PCI, and it has really nice cabling. That is one thing that I really like about it, is that the cabling is really, really nice. It's got single braided cables. And then we have, looks like this is a Molex to 6-pin. Again, really nice sleeving. I wanted to just open that first, so I'm not going to grab that one. And then what we have here is VGA to DVI. I would definitely not use that, especially if we're getting a card like this. And that's it. That's not a whole lot of connectors. Usually you get some type of DVI or HDMI, but you don't actually get any of that, which isn't a big deal. When you're getting a card like this, you probably actually almost 100% already have all that stuff set up. I like running on DVI, and this came with my monitor, so. Alright, and the first thing you notice about this card is that it's not really that big. It's about 10.5 inches, so get a nice visual of the card here. We'll get some measurements of it. Yeah, about 10.5 inches, looks like. And the first thing you're going to notice at the look of this is that it does look very similar to what a 690 looks like. Maybe it's definitely shorter, but it has the same design, same aluminum housing. And this, I believe, is magnesium, maybe? I'm not sure. It's definitely a metal material. This actually has a much improved blower on it than the 680, which when I do my review into it, I'll actually get into that. But we're just going to go through the overview of the card here. And if we just look here, you got the side here where your PCI 3.0 slot is right there. You can see it. And there's your crossfire. Well, nope. Here's your SLI bridge right there. You can run up to 3. I believe 3, you might be able to run quad on this even, but I know you can definitely run 3. And if we just take a look here, you can see right there is just where you're going to shoot some of that hot air out. That's going to help keep the GPU cool. And then you have your GeForce logo there. This does light up, and there's some cool features you can do with it that kind of does some breathing effects with the game based on what you're playing and how hard it's working. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I will get into that once we get into the review. And then you have an 8-pin and a 6-pin. This does recommend only a 600 watt power supply as the minimum. That's extremely low for how you know, considering this is the highest single GPU graphics card, so that just shows you how efficient this card actually is. And like I said, it has 6 gigabytes of memory, and you see that some of it is actually around here, around the GPU. So you have the GPU right there, You got some memory around here, and you're also going to have some on the inside. And let's see, for your connector ports, it looks like you got 2 DVI. Oops, sorry about that. You have 2 DVI, HDMI, and then display port, full display port. I do like that. And then you got your DVI, so you can support 3+1 monitors. And overall, this is a nice looking card. This is easily the best looking card that I've actually ever seen. And I had the privilege of previously been using the 7970 Lightning Edition, which is a very, very good looking card. But if we just take a little scope look around here, a little bit of sexiness there. It is a nice looking card. You got this nice, definitely feels like glass, a glass shroud over, so you can just see the internals of the radiator there. It's a very, very good looking card. You got the Titan logo right there. Really impressed with this, I will say that. So that's been my unboxing of Nvidia's GTX Titan. This is their new the GPU, and this is the world's fastest single GPU out there that has been confirmed by multiple outlets and multiple reviewers. I'm going to actually get into a review after this. I'm going to go over a few of the features that I'm going to do in a separate video following this one, just on some of the new technologies that they put into this and just how you implement overclocking. They really allow you to customize a lot in this, so I want to do a whole separate video on that, just to better give an understanding of what's so special about this card. Then I'm going to get into a review, and I do want to get into the acoustics of this card and actually how it performs when it comes to sound. It's supposed to be a really quiet-oriented card, and I want to test that and actually see what we get out of it. That being said, this is again my unboxing of Nvidia's GTX Titan. If you'd like to see more reviews like this, unboxings, any other tech news, again, don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and thanks for watching GK110 Broadcast.